So I received a package from Denise Love from the United States, and this video is all about unboxing that package. So the funny thing was that this was delivered at the wrong address, and it's not because Denise didn't fill in the right address, but because there's a street in the Netherlands which has the same street name, and it was delivered there. And that woman, she called me and she told me that she had a package for me, so she sent it to me, and it was so kind. So thanks to Elina for sending it to the right place. There's a lot of packaging thing that I can use. You can also see it in the painting behind me. Bubble wrap. That's also very nice. And now I'm curious, what's here? I will take it out. What is this? Another package. Package in a package. Oh, I already love that paper. It's wrapped around it. It's red and pink and white. And I feel, oh, those are wonderful. Fabrics in amazing colors. Look at this. And then I have another one with more like ochre background. Folk and Lore. Stephanie Sliwinski, I think. Wow, that's great. And this is Wild and Beef and... Wow, this is so cool. And another fabric with a plant pattern. So inspiring. And then we have, what's this? Toothbrush? What's this? Looks like a toothbrush. It's kind of a sponge. I think you can just add your paint with this. But it looks like a toothbrush. Hello, hello. And then we have a wonderful card. Oh. And that card is ready to send because she just left a note so I can resend it. That's so cute. Denise, it's a very long letter. A happy mail. And that's it. Yeah. A happy mail package. And there's another. Oh, there's another Dina Wakley media journal with the ledger version. And I haven't seen this version. It looks like every page is different. So that's amazing. It's not a thick book like the other ones. And here, guess what? There's another one. There's another one. Whoa, that's so cool. Wonderful books. So I've got 2 books and 3 lovely fabrics. And I have this wonderful card made by Denise and a letter, and I will read the letter soon. Oh, and I got these toothbrushes. So I think soon I will try these ones out and show you what it's like to work with. Maybe it's also in a note. I have no clue. So let's try it out soon. Thank you, Denise, for sending this package to me. And I'm very happy and looking forward to work in these books and to get started with a project using these fabrics. Maybe a bookbinding project. Maybe it's for a book cover. I don't know yet, but it's lovely, lovely spring-like colors. So I definitely can use these ones. So thanks a lot. So I thought it would be a good idea to start with something that Denise sent me as I was working on this page, and I haven't finished it, but this was a piece of paper that I had loose I think in a sketchbook or something, and I found the background wonderful color-wise. And then I already grabbed some items to maybe use, but then I found this piece from Denise's, well, package, and I thought it would be wonderful to add this to the page. I have a little paint on my finger, so I will be careful with it. So I will leave these aside, and this one was also one she sent, and this was one she sent. I could use them as well, but I think this one is the best. It's kind of spring Eastern pattern. I really love it. And I also had some other things that I could be using for this page to fill it up a little, to make a collage. This one I already used. This is just a kitchen towel, a wet kitchen towel. I also created some patterns, and this one I found really amazing. I think this is something that one of my students gave to me, and I just cut a little or torn a little from this wonderful paper with the hairs. So it's good to let it come back at this page. I think it's far too much things that I grabbed for this page, but I'm just see what I will be using and which things I will, well, use for maybe another project. But first, I want to show you one of my best investments for this year, because this was cut out of a sketchbook, as I told you. And I always had troubles with that and making it exactly the right size. But now I have a tool, and it's really a game changer. So this is my new paper cutter. It's from RotaTrim. It's a Pro18, and this is for A2 paper, so that the big size of an A3 paper can fit in. And it's really a handy thing because I can put it underneath my couch, and then I can use it often. My previous paper cutter was always in the attic, and I didn't use it that much. It was far too large, so I bought this one to be using it more often, and I think I'm really going to be doing that as soon as I am also making books myself, and I will show you how it works. I will do it with a piece of Locta paper, and it can handle like paper from I think 3 mm, so also you could even use cardboard for this in this, and it's a wonderful tool. And I think in the future I will show it more often to you. But this is I use this one for cutting the paper of my Dina Wakley art journal, and that's especially a great thing for people like me who are not really good at cutting things with scissors and things. So first, I am going to decide what I will be doing on this page. And I have a palette with paint also, and I think I'm going to be doing some paint elements here too. But maybe first I can just check out which things are wonderful to use. Maybe something like this to give it a little, I thought this one would be great to do here. like a kind of flap, and maybe I can put something underneath that's really nice. And I also love the back of it that's looking like this. So I think this one in front is also good. And then I can glue it down. This pattern is really wonderfully matching with this page, but also I wanted to add in some of this paper, maybe here a little and here on this page too. And of course I have to cut a little of this wonderful fabric, and I think I want to put it here in the corner. Unfortunately, I can't use this cutting machine for this fabric, so I have to find myself a tool for that. So now I have just a little strip of this wonderful flower pattern like thing. And this is far too much, so I could even decide to do a full strip of it like this, but I think it's not necessary. So I just going to cut a little piece, well, maybe just on the fold of it. And then what you could also do is give it a little cut and then rag it, because I really love these little threads. So maybe I'm not going to glue everything down right away, because I want to check if my composition is nice. I also have a little Locta paper, so I could use that too. And then I decide what I'm going to be doing here. The Locta paper is kind of the same color. Well, this is a bit more like green, mustard-like. And here we have a pattern. Well, I don't need to use everything from this pattern, so I will just cut off a little, let's see, the most dark part of it. And I always cut off the little, well, the hard, the straight paper pieces, so that I have a beautiful organic piece like this. And then I think I will leave this aside. I think this would be great to use. And also maybe a little from this piece that I also used here. Maybe a little part of it. This is a hard part of the paper, but I could do it just like this. And I think that's a good one to start my collage thing with. So I first start with gluing the things that I want to have underneath. By the way, I prepared this page, which is a canvas page. I prepared it by doing a layer of transparent gesso, and that prevents the page from crinkling, and it's also shrinking a little. You can already see that because this page is already, well, you can see that already. So the glue won't be underneath too, because the gesso, well, made it really like a hard, well, surface, yeah. So it won't be slipping through the cotton or canvas. Now let's see what's better. This is better, and then here I can create something else. And I love the pattern here to be a little underneath, just like this one. So when you're making a collage, I see many people working like this. And that's good, but it's always kind of, the things are standing loose from each other and it's not really a whole. So if you want to make a more layered thing and a more cohesive thing, it's best to overlap some parts. Now I have to see what I have in mind again. So I think like this, and maybe as I use this red thing too, it's already here too, but I could even decide to go for a little more from that paper. This one I also love very much, so maybe I can just change some things and lay some things down and see what's happening with my composition. So I really love to use those things both. So I have to see, I don't want them to be too close to another. So maybe I can do it just like this. And there's another pattern. So I also always make sure that I have a kind of a group of collage items that are matching really well together, and they're connecting with another. So when I open this one, maybe here, it's nice to have something here, maybe this yellow paper or something. So I could start with that, because this is really the end, the last thing, the final thing that I'm going to glue down. So I will make myself a little, well, this is kind of fibers in it. Maybe there are little branches or straw. I think it's straw, and that's inside of the paper, so it's a lovely effect. So I think this would already be a nice composition, and I think this one has to overlap that one like this. I really don't like that. And now the flowers are upside down. I always take a look at that. Do I want to have the flowers as they are, or do I want to have them upside down? I want them in their original state. So this is all, I think, good. So let's see. Sometimes it's handy to just take a picture in case you forget how everything is in place. So I will take a picture. I will take a picture of the right side of the page. Oh, and I'll see that those are in the right way, those are upside down, so it's always the same. It's an alternate pattern. So here I have my glue, my gel medium, and I will take these ones off, maybe put them like here, and then this one goes a little to the side, and then here, this is also a lovely one. Maybe I'm going to add it in too, but I don't know yet. We're just playing around and have a nice show for you. And it looks like very easy what I'm doing. And it is kind of easy, but you, well, I prepare myself a little for doing these videos, because I want to have my color palette set. And that's for me mostly the hardest part, how to set yourself a nice color palette. And then it's just, well, about choosing the right items to work with. So I already have some things that I can work with, like Derwent pencils, like Posca pens. I already prepared a palette that has the colors that are already here. So that's something, well, to keep in mind when you see me doing this. I already had a kind of preparation phase, and most of the time it really helps me to plan some things and to let it go sometimes. And then in the meanwhile, when I'm in the midst of those process, some things are just coming my way, like this piece of fabric. I didn't expect to get this kind of fabric from Denise. That was completely surprising. And now it's in the exact same color palette that I want to use with today. So it's kind of setting an intention for yourself. This is what I want to work with, and then something is happening in the universe, and it provides you exactly the same materials. And what I often see when I'm choosing my clothes in the morning, and I also see students choosing their clothes, and that's most of the time exactly the color that they are working in that day. And for me, I have this. I have to be careful because I have glue. This is what I'm wearing today. So that's also the same color palette. And I wasn't aware of that, but it's all kind of a, well, I'm in the green and pink phase, I think. So these are the things that are automatically coming my way. So that's a very funny thing. I also love this because it's sticking out of the, well, it's a long thread, and I will do it like this over the Locta paper. It's giving a nice contrast. And so here, I'll make sure that everything is glued down in the right way. Sometimes there are little crinkles, or I see some things that are loose. And I love things being loose, like, for example, flaps that I'm going to be using in the next phase too. So I really love using flaps like this one in the future, but not already now. But I don't love when a piece of paper is, well, hanging half loosely in my book, and it has no, well, there's no use for that. There's no goal for that. Here you can also see that there's, I think that's a burlap thing because it's not coming out of the Locta, but here's another thread, and I will make sure that that is. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is half loose, and I want it to have, well, flat. And then also with that, you reach a very cohesive page that is, well, looks like a hole. So here is a little fold. I don't like that, so I think I just try to manage it to make it a little more organic, like this. I don't want that fold in it. So let's take a look at my picture once more. My picture is like here. And I see I have to put this one a little here. And maybe I'm changing my composition a little because now this thread is sticking out, or I just do it a little more to the side so that we can see that, or it's coming underneath. That's also a nice thing. And then I had this yellowed piece of paper, this small one, I think, where is it? Here. I had this one like here. So I think I'd better be starting with this thing. And then I take this one, and I think I am putting this one there. No, then it's not visible anymore. So what I will do is I take it out, and I will just paste it here where the pattern is not going to be. So like this. That's very nice. And now I have this piece. I think I will overlap a little of the pattern. Yeah. And sometimes I am using the glue straight on the paper, but this is no paper, so it's better to use the glue on my collage material, the straw fiber paper. And I love things that are sticking a little out of the book, so this one will go out of the page right now. I really love the hairy things that are coming out, just like here. By the way, if you love this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who can watch these videos. And turn on a notification bell if you don't want to miss any video. And sometimes I'll just be chatting about things that I love, like books or well, materials that I'm using. Sometimes it's a little, well, show like this. Now I have to make sure that I'm not partly overlapping these leaves. So I think one leaf now is coming out, coming behind this pattern paper. So I think this is something great. And now I can see what it looks like if I'm doing it like this. So you see that yellowed paper, the stroke paper is a little coming out of the book. Maybe I want to do it like this, that it's even more. Then the pattern is less visible, but still it's visible. But I want to overlap this kind of hard shape. There are all kind of things sticking to my fingers right now. So I think this is the best way to do it. You still see the pattern, and when you open this, you see the full pattern. Maybe here is something missing, so I could go for something really, well, I can also do it afterwards, because now I have all my things already on the table. You see, I prefer working in squares and rectangle shapes. That's kind of, well, how I organize my compositions. But it's up to you what shapes you're using. And I'm using them often in a vertical way, like this. And sometimes I'm using the horizontal way, and that's especially when I'm about to do a landscape. So now I have some more of these fiber things coming out of this paper, and I will just cut it down, because it's a wonderful thing to have these little items coming back, little details, hairy details. Maybe I want to do it like this, because here's already something bubbling out of the book. Yeah. Well, what I could also do is use a little paint on this part of the page. And I first have to wait until this one is dry. So let's go to the other page. Maybe I want to add this one here, because I really love that. Then I'm, well, also adding a new color, because there's gold in this. I don't know if you can see that, but I think it's a wonderful piece of paper. It's having a hard edge. And here's even a little red, I don't know. There was a little paint on it, I think. Oh, I really want to use that, because then the theme will be flowers. And that's a wonderful theme. So I will take away the edge of the paper, and I will overlap a part of the pattern, and then here. It's a nice one. It's really looking like a sunny page, and the weather here is great today. And I hope that we're going to take a walk this afternoon, and tomorrow it will even be better. It will be 22 degrees or something. So I hope to finish this project today, so I can be outside tomorrow. So this is a wonderful, well, I think a wonderful start of the page. I think even this page is already almost, well, done. And I have these wonderful roses here I bought yesterday, and maybe it would be nice to have a little leaf, a little rose leaf that I can use for this page, because it's exactly the same color. But the flowers are still in such a good state, so I don't want to use them now already. Now let's go to the left page, this one. And especially, I loved working on this sun. It was a cutout that I have to create circles. I worked a lot of with these circles in my Spain art journal, and I see it's not really sticking on the page, so I will give it an extra layer. It's kind of thick paper, and maybe it would be nice that if I paint a pattern in it. It's a kind of sun, but it's nice to have a pattern in the sun. This sky part I really love, and also I love this white, well, creamy background. There's a little blue here, and maybe I don't want that. And I will remove that a little, and then I will see what I'm going to be doing here, because this is kind of boring part. It's all kind of the same color, so I want to do something with that. Now first let's go to my background and remove this blue. Well, I think it's from another project or something, so I'm going to remove that. And also I will, well, just give this part a little color, because that was a little broken part. Create a kind of frame around these this landscape page. And here something happened. I torn the paper, so I will also fix that a little, that you don't see that anymore. I used a red ochre color, so now I have to see if I can mix that in exactly the same color that I used for this page. So I think we have to go a little darker, like this, and now I can simply overlap it. Maybe it's too dark. And I overlapped it already with this part. And I could even let this color come back a little. Like here. I have to be careful that I don't touch my red kind of straw paper thing. Now, I thought it would be wonderful to have kind of maybe a paper layer here. But also, it would be very nice to use something with a stamp, or, well, this kind of things. I found these one at the IKEA. It was on a box, on a cardboard box, and I think I just kicked, and then this happened. And this is a wonderful texture for the back. The back is also wonderful. It's a wonderful texture when using a stamp and make it, well, I don't know if it's working out well. I think I want to do it in a slightly darker color, like this one or that one. So I think I have to mix a little red ochre. I'm going to stay in the same color palette. This is raw umber, this is Van Dyke brown. So let's see what will be happening if I be mixing these colors. What's happening? I think that's very nice, because this is far too red and I want to have it slightly darker. So this, I think, will be fun to use for my stamp. So what I'm going to be doing is I just do a part of it and I paint on my stamp. I could also go for a larger brush, but this is good enough. And the fun thing about these stamps, these handmade stamps, is that when adding the paint, it's getting stronger and stronger the more you use it, and the holes are getting smaller and smaller. I'll show you an example of a often used one. So I will just see what will be happening if I put this It's also a very nice thing to use when you have a jelly plate. Maybe it's not enough paint, but wow, that's nice. It's always kind of a tricky thing to find out the right amount of paint to put, the right amount of water to put on these stamps, and then just see what will be happening. Let's do another one. That's very nice. I will do one more here. Now this book is already very thick, but I think when you have a flat background, it's working, well, more, it's working easier and it will be better. But already this one, I love that very much. I will do one more here to create some kind of an edge. And you see it's a really kind of an organic shape. And maybe I can do something with this shape thing as well on the other page. So to let it return, maybe I want to have a little, like this is a, well, a line. It's very nice. I really love it. I really love this part of it. So maybe I can do it somewhere. Maybe it's already too full, but what I could do is add a little, well, a lighter color on this part of the page. So I think that will be nice. So I think I will be doing that. I will put something underneath. Maybe this wonderful sheet music thing. Maybe I could add that underneath too. So don't want to have it all on this page. Now I will go for my lighter color again, so that red ochre mixed up with white. I can't tell why I love that white ochre so much. It's just one of my favorite colors at the moment. Maybe because it's very spring-like. You see, it's already getting lighter here. And it doesn't matter that there's a little brown in it too. Now, as this is a very dark surface, it's a very nice effect to have a lighter pattern on it. So that's why I'm taking the lighter color for this one. If I would use this color, it wouldn't be visible. So let's see what's happening. There is already a kind of pattern and I don't want to damage that, all of that. So I'm going to do it partly. And what I could also do is open it a little and just press it a little on underneath and you see what it's looking like. It's really wonderful. And when these things are a little too strong, so I will wipe that out a little to get the effect, a very subtle effect of this pattern. And you see it's matching very well together. Now I wanted to add a little of this straw paper or a little of this Locta paper on this page too, but maybe it's going to be a little too dominant. Now I have the pattern on it already, so maybe I have to work in very thin parts like this so that it is coming back, but not too dominant. Maybe it's like a path or something, or sand. Let's see what it looks like if I just have some strips and I put those down and see what's happening. I think the thinner the better. So this one is going to be a little thinner then. Now I have enough to make just one line of it. I could go for this. I could also go for this. Let's see what's better. I think it's also nice to have one here underneath, and well, maybe one just here. I don't want it to be too full and too messy. So I always take the smallest side on the middle of the page. I think this is a nice composition. So let's go for that. And I partly overlap my just created pattern, but that's not really a problem. So this is really collage fun. This is a little heart shape, so I will remove that. And I also put some glue on top of my strip, not just underneath, to make sure that it really, well, is glued in the right direction, or in that it's really, well, part of my page. What I could do is add a little of this part underneath, so that this part is not ending in the middle of a landscape. That it's more like a part of the landscape than some kind of strip that I just glued down on it. So maybe I could do it like this or like that. And then I have here, well, this is very hard to tear. Maybe something like this. And sometimes it's really hard because the things are not sticking to the page but to your hands. So I got all kind of, well, kitchen towel things on my hands right now. So now let's see how this is working out. It's not completely the same color-wise, but we can just add a little paint to it and then it will look okay. But now it's looking like it's going, the landscape is just continuing. Maybe this is something like a flower garden or sand, or I want to have some of this paper underneath this straw paper. Oh, not to my fingers, into the paper, like this. So now it's really looking like a cohesive thing. This looks a little more like it's brown. It's not exactly the same color, so I will bring some buff titanium in, because this is now really very white. There's even a little red ochre in it, so now it's kind of the same thing. And I will also do that here. And maybe I will even do it here. So this is a wonderful page already. I will take it a little to the middle of the page, and maybe I want to add one more dark line, because this is, hey, something happened to the sun. I don't know what it is, but I have to fix that. The sun is bleeding. So this is okay. So I feel like I have to do something with one more darker part here, because this page is quite, well, is having more dark items, components. So I will maybe add a little dark line here or there. So let's see, let's go to my brown. I first start with just a small line, a thin line. Give it a little more depth. And maybe I can do the same here. Something interesting is happening. There's a piece of paper laying here. And maybe it's nice to use kind of a watery paint here. So the pattern is still coming through the paper a little more. And sometimes when you feel like something is too messy, then you can simply overlap it again with another color. So I think I made a little mess out of this page. This page, I really feel like it's, well, it's very nice. I really love that page. But for this page, I feel like I have to, it's a little overdone. So I will bring it back to what I had. Overlap this a little with that lighter color and see what's happening. Maybe it's all too wet. And I will try not to overlap my yellow parts here. And I don't want to see too much brush strokes here. So you see that working with diagonal parts is really interesting. I will still overlap some of these parts. And now there's just a little, well, kind of more open space on the page. I think this line is, well, is okay. But I will overlap this part a little more. I don't want to overlap the full pattern because I still love the pattern. I just want to give it a little more space and depth. I almost never use already existing pages, but this one I found so beautiful color-wise that I just wanted to have it in my art journal. So I'm bringing it all together a little more. Now this part is still a little weird, but I love the texture of it very much. To make it a whole, I think this page is missing one more thing, and that's this color, the color of the canvas. And now my book is almost full, but what I can be doing is just cut out a little of this book page. I do that more often, so it's not really a brave thing for me to do. But I can understand that when you've never done this, that it feels a little like, oh, I'm going to ruin my book. But, well, the page is getting smaller anyway. So I think this will be a wonderful addition to this page, just to make it continue. And you see it's fraying already, so I can use those frays too. And then I will do it like in a way that I can, kind of connect it with this page as well. So like this, and then here I can let it fray even more, like this. And I could also use these little threads on this page, like that. I think then the page will be finished. Let's see if I can get out one more. Oh, otherwise I have to cut it on this side a little more too. And then tear it again, because then the frays will come in a way I want to have them. Let's see if this is working. Yeah, it's working. I really love that fraying effect. And I want to have it on this side as well. Take a look at my fingers. It's really great. So what I'm doing is I try to create these kind of threads on the other sides too. Yeah, that's the thing I wanted. So I can do it like this. I think that would be perfect. And then maybe leave a little of this part yellow. And here, this is connected to this canvas page. Maybe I can cut it a little because I want to have it diagonally. And then I have to fray it again. Like that. And now it's time to glue it. Oh, that's also very nice to have a lot of those little frays here. Maybe it's even better upside down, like this. Yeah, that's better. So you see, again, I'm not thinking too much. I'm just trying out things and see what's happening. And I look at my materials and I see there's not enough connection. And I just make some decisions and overlap some things that I've been working on earlier. And it's still visible, but make sure that if you create a collage, that you keep your best material for the final, well, for the final phase, because otherwise you can't use it again. You can't tear it off your page and, well, simply use it again, because then you have to destroy your whole page. And now you can simply well, keep your best parts for the last part. Let's see, I want to do something more on this page because it's feeling quite empty for me. And for example, this part, I really love this, but I think it's not really fitting in my collage right now, but it's a good thing. It's not too dominant, so I leave it. And also I see that the color of the sun is not exactly the same color. This is not exactly the same sky color, so I have to do something with that. Now I think it would be great to use a little of this fabric that Denise sent me, the other one. And I didn't intend to use this one, but I think it's lovely. And to use these little flower shapes, flower patterns. This is quite much, but I think when using these here, it would be so wonderful. Or just have some of these smaller flowers here, like underneath or something. And then I use these tulip-like shapes here, because then it's, well, it's giving a wonderful direction, because they are going a little to the top of the page, the right top of the page. So I think that would be nice to add that at least. And then we have a look if I can use the other part too. And I don't want to have this red leaf in it. And I don't want to have half of a flower here, so I will cut that one out and tear it in the way I told you. And now it's partly overlapping this fabric and partly overlapping that pattern and this pattern. So I think it's exactly the right size. It's a kind of full page right now. I'm even thinking about removing this part and just leave this one here, but I remove this part, and I think then it will be so much more quiet. I think I can still take it off, and I simply well, use this part here maybe, because now I feel like it's like, well, it's more like a cohesive thing. That thing was far too dark. Maybe if I had choose this background, it was okay, but I find it so wonderful to use that, but I think for this page it's just not working. I love these leaves and they are exactly the same color as this. So it would be great to have that, but now I already cut this one, or glued down this one, so I don't know if that's going to work. But it would be lovely to have something coming back from this pattern. So you see, it really helps when you not cutting everything down right away, gluing everything down right away, and instead wait until you know your composition. But well, I just love working on these things so much. Oh, I think I have the perfect solution. I think I go for these flowers here. Yes, that's absolutely what I'm going to be doing. So I will just, well, have this strip. Oh, that's so amazing. I'm so happy that Denise sent this to me. But now I think I will try to remove this one because I want to have the phrase fall over the piece of fabric. So now something that I started with is overlapped, but I don't mind that because this is such a nice addition to this page. Let's see what's happening if I put it like this. Oh yeah, that's amazing. I'm going to be doing that. And normally I feel that I don't want to waste too much fabric. I don't want to use too much because, well, I sometimes just have small amounts of fabric and then I really want to use it for another project. But now I have pretty much of this material, so I could even do it like this, but I will do it like this. And then I have to be careful with my glue because I don't want it to dry up in a white way. And sometimes that's happening when using textile. So I don't want that. And I want to overlap it with the phrase. And I want to cut this off. And maybe there's something in it. I will also go for kind of the frame thing that I had in mind in the first place. And then I had to cut this. So now we have a little fabric sticking out of the page, but I will fix that later or not. Maybe I'll leave it this way. And maybe we can add a little, well, pinkish flower here on top. Let's see if it's not getting too, well, kind of busy. Oh, this is also nice. This is kind of the color palette that's used for this piece of fabric. That's amazing. I want to have that. But I don't know if I'm going to add this into this collage. It could be great. I think I go for just this flower and not for that one. And then I have some leaves. Maybe I even don't go for this part, or maybe to frame it a little. So this part will, well, this is a connection with that one, and this will be connecting these, well, other things. And I think then once I glued these things down, I think this page is definitely finished. And it's also almost looking like kind of patchwork page again. And I want to announce something because I already created some mixed media classes on Collage, and there will be a new one soon. I think we will launch it in May, and it will be about creating patchwork collage with your own created patterns. So it feels a bit like the courses pattern playing, patterns and flowers. So if you really like those courses, you enjoyed doing those, well, there's something more to come. I will just cut out a little of these hairy paper just to give this one a frame. I don't need much because I don't want to have it too dark on this side. I have to be sure that there's not too much glue on the fabric. On paper it's really not a problem, but you see this is exactly the same color as this leaf. It's so, well, I don't know how Denise guessed that this was a kind of color palette that I am working in these days, so that's really amazing. Maybe I want to add something of this red thing here too. Or is it enough? I could also leave it this way. It's really looking like a sunny page that I, well, enjoy watching. I could do something more here, but I think it's going to be too wild, and I don't want to be too wild. It's spring-like, it's sunny, it's just great as it is right now. I only don't love that this part is still a little white, so I will overlap that one a little more. Now this is getting loose again, so I will. And this part is, well, I now think it's feeling like a cohesive thing because this is also kind of white. There's so much sticking on my finger, so that's really not a nice thing. Yeah, I really enjoy this, and I just want to fix that part of the sky. I hope I can get into the same color, and then this page is finished finally. Maybe I have to take some more white. Here's some white, but I think it has dried up. Oh no, it's still alive. Let's see. This is too brown, I think. Then we have the same thing going on. And this is so nicely matching these flowers. So I think I will take some more new paint and try to mix that original color. So that's buff titanium, not buff titanium, titanium white and red ochre. And now I need a very good clean brush. Get all the brownish colors out and then just focus on my sky, which I've been creating in these colors. It's a bit too light, so I am adding a little more. And maybe I have to do the sky again. But maybe I don't. It's always hard to find exactly the same color back again. It's looking like it's getting a little lighter than the thing I had before. I just used these colors, so I know that I'm working with the right colors now. And I don't want to overlap the hairy things here, so I just have to be careful. Just see if I can add a little more of these red ochre and don't want to be the brush strokes too heavy. I think this is quite nice, and it's still a bit messy there. It's always difficult to surround something with paint. So in this case also it would be much more handy to first paint your background and then put the sun in. But for now, I think we made it, and I really love it. So I think I call it a day and I just end this video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, a very gluey thumb, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And maybe you want to give a comment of, well, maybe what's your favorite fabric to use? Do you use fabric often? Do you have unexpected moves in your changes in your work? You thought about something, you had something in mind before you were starting a project, and then everything changed while doing it, like here. So I'd like to hear from you, and well, turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next video. And I see you next time. Bye bye.